Hello, everyone, and welcome back to JaianMusic Notes, the podcast where we slow down, breathe in, and break down the art and science behind my anime music covers. Today is a solo episode. I am JaianMusic, your host, an anime music cover channel, and a longtime fan of music in anime. Today is a very special episode for me. This is one that when I conceptualized this podcast, I knew I was going to eventually talk about this song. And I remade a whole cover for this song. There's a whole story. Today's episode is an emotional deep dive into my ambient and orchestral cover of Green Bird from Cowboy Bebop. This piece has always held a subtle and fragile place in the anime music universe. And recently, I had the unforgettable experience of seeing Yoko Kanno herself perform it live in New York City. I got on a bus the Saturday morning. I came back the next day on the Sunday. 8 hours there, 8 hours back, just for like a 3-hour concert. I had to do it. I do not regret doing it. It was such an incredible moment. It was her first time ever performing live in North America. And that moment when she played Green Bird, it rekindled something in me. So today I want to share with you the process and passion behind my reimagined version. We're going to get into the context of the original song, its place in one of Cowboy Bebop's most unforgettable scenes, my production decisions and how I made my version of it. And I'm just excited. Before we step into the dreamscape that is Green Bird, I want to thank the sponsor of the podcast, Laser Audio Technologies. Whether you're a seasoned sound designer, a content creator, a podcaster, or just someone who deeply loves playing with audio, Laser Audio Technologies has the tools to bring clarity and warmth and just infinite creation to your sonic world. They have incredible plugins such as Fram and Glow. And if you use code JaianMusic, you get 30% off at checkout. That's right. We are no longer at 25% off. We are at 30% off. And every dollar from that podcast code goes straight back into the show, such as GoPro Kyo, who does all of the artwork for JaianMusic Notes. Please give him a follow, linked in the description. Let's talk about the original song. Green Bird first appears in the episode of Cowboy Bebop titled Ballad of Fallen Angels. It's a legendary church scene. The moment Spike Spiegel falls through the glass window in slow motion after confronting Vicious, and as he falls, the sound drops out. There's not a scream, not a peep, just silence. And then the serene, ghost-like entrance of Green Bird just comes in, and it's a cinematic beauty. This is what film music, anime music is all about. It's about moments like that where the music takes the front stage. The song was composed by the one and only Yoko Kanno, like I mentioned, and vocals are by Gabriella Robin. And with its progression, choir voicing, and near liturgical tone, Green Bird captures what words can't. It's just weight, stillness, and chaos as Spike just falls. It's a very short song. It's under 3 minutes, but in that time, it defines an entire emotional thread in Cowboy Bebop. It's as if time froze, and for a moment, Spike isn't a bounty hunter or a fighter. He's just a soul falling through the memory and regret. Everything in that moment. And here's the twist. Kanno herself performed the song as the closing song during her live concert in New York City, which I had, once again, the honor to attend. And hearing it live was surreal. It was just her and the other pianist in the whole concert in the huge, I think at least 16-piece band playing all the classics. And you could feel the collective stillness in the room. No phones, no noise, just anime music fans enjoying the moment. That's when I knew I needed to revisit this piece and give it a new voice through my style. So let's talk about how I put this thing together. For this version, I really wanted to preserve the sacred atmosphere of the original, but just expand on textures and making it a little bit more immersive. So obviously we have choir layers from Omnisphere. I started out with, multi-tracked vocal patches from Omnisphere, blending choirs and textures with ambient vowel pads. I used both legato and short attack layers, adjusting the attack curves and modulating them. All of this is to say that not one vocal patch here was the same, and the whole point of it is that it creates that signature choral movement that feels like it's breathing with the piece. Then obviously when the choir fades, we get into that nice piano melody, and the core melody of that melody is played on a very soft felted ambient piano. I tweaked the velocity curves manually, so each note is slightly delayed or rushed to add like a sort of human fragility to the whole piece. And this piano isn't about clarity, it's about space. Every keystroke is like a declarative statement on the path of the melody. And obviously light strings, little violins, just to add harmonic textures to the choir and to the piano. It's almost more of a shimmer than a sound. The purpose was just to glue the piano and the choir together. And all these were just like dripped in reverbs and delays. I used like cathedral impulse responses on the choir and a nice little delay on the piano lead, so you could really hear it. It echoes out, and the overlapping tails create a kind of choral unity, I would say, where no single element feels isolated. It all blends into just one reflective pool of sound. Another thing I wanted to discuss was the humanization process here, like how I said, the velocity curves and the timing. MIDI humanization is something that I use in every single one of my covers. It's where I don't want the cover to feel quantized or digital. Sometimes I don't do it, but like most of my covers are my ambient covers, if not all, I use some type of humanization, and I deliberately adjust note velocities, mod wheels, and attack parameters and timings by hand in some sections, so that the piano sounds a little drifty, more imperfect, and more like a live player. Kind of just like I just wanted to feel like it was in that concert again. And even the choir patches are layered to release and just have these imperfections. So when I listened back, I didn't want the sound to be produced. I wanted it to be like someone slowly remembering the scene itself. And why I revisited the songs, like I mentioned earlier, when I saw Yoko Kanno play it live, it sparked like some type of emotional, I have to do it again, nostalgic feeling inside of me. And seeing her play this piece live just reminded me of the power of just a single song. And you know when an artist performs something exactly as you remember it, but you still feel like you're hearing it for the first time. That's what happened to me in that concert hall. I felt like that scene with Spike suspended in midair just kind of came back to me. So I asked myself, what does Greenbird sound like now through my tools, my growth, and my reimagination of it? So in closing thoughts, Greenbird is more than just a soundtrack. It's cemented in one of the greatest anime musical moments, in my opinion. It's the sound of falling without fear, and it's a metaphor for Cowboy Bebop. This cover was spiritual. It was emotional. It was nostalgic. Everything about it just felt right. And I hope that when you listen to it, you don't just hear the song, you feel the space between the notes and the emotion that lives within that space. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me on this breakdown of Greenbird. You can stream the full version of my cover on all platforms under Giant Music. It's linked in the description. JaianMusic.com is my website, at Giant Music on social media. Subscribe to JaianMusic Notes and give us a 5-star review. Thank you for everyone who's been watching us in Asia. We've got a lot of people in Asia listening to this podcast, and we chart on Apple because of you. I appreciate that. Reminder to use code JaianMusic over at Laser Audio Technologies and get 30% off at checkout. And a big thank you to GoPro Kyo for doing the artwork. So for myself, this has been another episode of Giant Music Notes, and I'll see you next time. Bye.